Alright, good afternoon, gentlemen. I hope everyone's having a decent day. As you can see, we're back with another episode of the Minecraft Survival Let's Play. It's episode number 27. You can see I've done a bit of work over here on the end project. Not too much, but I just added some stone to the top of this mountain. We're probably going to be finishing off this mountain in its entirety in this particular episode, adding some snow to the peaks. Not exactly detailing the whole thing out, but just getting a bit more work done over here because I'd assume that that's what people want. They want some work done on the Asgard build, so that's what I'm going to do, but we're not exactly going to focus on that in today's episode. Anyways, it's been a month since my last episode. I basically recorded an entire episode right here. I mean, I have all of the clips, but I recorded all of the audio files and all of them got corrupted. So basically what I did then was instead of re-recording them, I just got a bit lazy and I got a little frustrated, so I just threw this video out in my mind and I didn't really want to work on it, so I left it. But now I'm back here and I want to play a bit more Minecraft, so I'm basically just going to go over all of these clips and discuss what I did. It's kind of going to be like a re-recording of the audio. A bit weird, a bit strange, but yeah, that's basically how this video today is going to be formatted. It's a month later than when these clips were recorded themselves, but that's okay. So yeah, let's get into the other clips, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through what I've been doing, some projects that I've been working on. So here we go. Alright, so the next thing that I wanted to do was convert all of this dirt into grass, and the only way to do that is to light up the area. So as you can see on the left hand side where all the torches are, that's where all of the grass is. So basically what I did was I crafted up a bunch of torches. I believe I actually got like a double chest and a half full of torches. I crafted up a bunch, and then I kind of just stuck with these lines right here, not really being too organized, not spacing it out by any certain amount of blocks, but just spamming torches in these rows or columns or whatever, just to light up the area so the grass could spread. Kind of a tedious project, but as you could see, the last few droplets of dirt are converting to grass, and we went all the way around the pyramid, and everything's just looking a little bit better. You know, the grass makes it look a little bit more like an island itself, and there isn't those like weird lines of grass and dirt. So that's just something I wanted to tick off the list today, something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, and we finally can because I've placed all of the dirt. But I think for now, we're probably going to leave this island right here. We have a bit more to do. We have a bit more torches to place, but I'm going to leave that. We're going to go over into the overworld and work on some projects there, and then I'm going to do a bit more off-camera work over on this island. As I said, we're probably going to finish the entirety of this first mountain over here, but I'm not 100% sure on that, so it depends on how I feel. I'm probably going to work on that a little bit later because this is a month later that I'm talking to you now. The mountain hasn't been finished, but I kind of feel like working on some terraforming, so we'll see if I get to that. We'll have to get a bunch of snow and some more stone, and then I'll work on the back of the island and form like the peaks, and we'll see how that looks like, but I hope I can get it done by the end of today. The next thing I did was went ahead and crafted up a bunch of rockets. I hate running out of rockets. It's incredibly annoying to craft these things. I don't know why the crafting book recipe is bugged. It can only craft the level 1 rockets, and I usually always go with the level 2 rockets. I feel like they're not overpowered like the level 3, but they're not kind of weak like the level 1 rockets, so I always go with level 2. That's kind of my preferred choice, and I just crafted up a bunch of rockets to just have sitting around so whenever I needed them, I could use them. I filled up all 5 of these shulker boxes, so I should be good on rockets for a while. Alright, so here we are back in the village that we've been working on for the past few episodes. Personally, like I say in every single episode, I love the way that this area is looking. It's just so different from anything else I've built, these kind of New York shops and houses. I haven't really worked in this style, and that's why I had to steal a good amount of inspiration from other people's builds, but now I feel confident enough to make my own designs, build my own houses, and as you can see, they are just kind of like the frameworks or the faces of the houses. We are going to be adding the back walls and the roofs in today's episode. I get that completely done, but I'm not going to talk like that anymore. I don't want to spoil things, so I'm just going to talk as if I'm in the moment right now. So what I want to do right now is kind of build up some concession stands, some little shops, some tables, maybe get some banners or streamers or whatever they're called going, add some more leaves, get some vegetation in here, just detail this square up, maybe add a fountain in the middle. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and get to work on. One progress update later, this is what the area is now looking like. You can see various bits of detail, some tables, a fountain, some leaves and vines on the wall, maybe a bit too many leaves, but we can always configure that at a later date. You can also see there's various different types of tables and chairs and kind of concession stands. As I was saying, we have a hot dog stand, we have some kind of a cake stand, different kind of restaurants dotted around the place. We have a streamer over there with some various colors of banners, and this fountain, which is kind of a weird design. We also added some more lanterns, everywhere just to add some more light and kind of keep the continuity of those street lamps or lanterns or whatever you want to call them. The fountain, I kind of worked on my own design. I'm not exactly 100% happy with it, but I do think it looks unique and different and it fits. We added some more of these kind of grates here that continue the plumbing line or the sewer line, whatever it's called. This is the hot dog stand. I basically ripped this off of Pinterest. I couldn't really make my own design because I don't really know how to build those kinds of things. So some things here and there that I kind of just took off of Pinterest. I don't know if that's really cheating or not. I don't think it is. I hope you guys are okay with that, but looks like we need to add another light source right there. We have various different kinds of tables and some vegetation, a smaller tree there, and basically just a bunch of little details that should enhance the area, make it look a little bit more lived in, like these are actual shops, like this is an actual area that people would live in. I kind of drew inspiration from like European cities and how they just have coffee shops and stands and things all over the place on the main roads. They have these big open roads and then just fill them with a bunch of people sitting at chairs and tables and all of that sort of thing. So yeah, forgive me for kind of stumbling over my words right now. I don't really know what I'm saying, but I feel like I've basically talked about everything in this area. We're probably going to leave it alone for now in this exact manner. We'll come back if we have any other ideas for little details that we want to add, and obviously we do have to do some terraforming around the main building, but for now, I feel like this area is almost complete. Like I said, we're going to be finishing the buildings, maybe adding some interiors, but basically in this episode, we're just going to be doing these side walls, the roof, and the back wall, and then we'll come back and we'll work on the main courthouse a little bit more, but for now, I think this square, this area is, for the most part, complete. Alright, so we have a nice little aerial view going from up here, and as you can kind of see, we've started to complete the back sides and the roofs of the houses, or the apartments, whatever you want to call them. I basically have completed the majority of them. I still need some resources to finish a few spots, but as you can see, it's a very simple back of the house. I'm basically just wrapping around the design in the simplest manner possible. If there was sandstone on the front, the sandstone gets wrapped around the back. If there's brick on the front, it gets wrapped around the back, and that's how I'm completing all of these houses. Maybe we will detail them a little bit more in the future, but for right now, the main reason why I'm completing these houses is just so I have a basis for where to put the next houses. They're going to be leaning up against the backs of these walls. Maybe we'll leave like a 1 or 2 block gap so we can have kind of like alleys, I guess. I'm not 100% sure, but if you're confused right now of what I'm talking about, you'll see in the future. We're finishing the backs of the houses so we could slap on the other houses on the other side of the walls. I know that's kind of confusing wordplay right there, but I'm pretty sure you guys know what I mean. If you don't, then don't worry, I'll explain it once we start working on the other houses and kind of have to do the process that I'm talking about. Okay, back up here, and as you can see, the sandstone has been completed. The path has also actually been extended just so we have some perimeters and where we can build up to, and we'll talk about that later. But for right now, I've completed every single one of the back sides of the houses, the roofs, the sidewalls. I just wanted to kind of get that out there. I had to collect up a bunch of really random blocks, especially that red brick right here. I had to go collect up a bunch more of that, which wasn't exactly exciting, but I did it. Every single one of the back sides of the houses are complete except for these original 3 houses that we've worked on, but that should get completed in the near future because we're going to be working on some more houses over on that side of things. Just a quick progress update. I just wanted to show you the backs of all of these houses and how I completed them. Moving on. Alright, but like I said, I wanted to shift my attention to the other side of the pathway and get all of the houses done here. I actually want to complete this one single strip from the gate all the way down to the courthouse. I want to have houses that spread all the way down that line. I want to have street lamps. I want to detail them out. Just have one single strip completed just so we can see the scope and size and what the rest of this project is going to look like. So we need about 5 or 6 houses on the right side and then 2 or 3 on the left side. I'm going to go ahead and get to work on all of that. Alright, here we are. 2 more houses have built up. We have kind of like another flower shop on the right hand side, and then I don't know exactly what this is. Maybe some kind of house. I'm not exactly sure, but I do think it looks good. I do like the implementation of the red sandstone and the acacia logs. That's something that I haven't really used much in any of the other houses, so it does look unique and distinct like each and every one of these houses. The deep slate, as always, is looking great. That's probably one of the best additions to Minecraft in the past while, but yeah, these 2 houses are complete. I think they both look decent enough to have here and not rip them down, so we're going to go with them. We're going to keep them. Maybe I'll add a bit more details in the future. villager. I haven't finished the back sides of any of these houses or the interiors. Obviously, that's why you're looking through the windows and seeing nothing but sky. But you can see there's all sorts of little nooks and crannies and details that I snuck in here. I really do like when I add these kind of, what are these called? Like the tarp, the red and white tarps that go over the doors or the roofs. They kind of look like the same things you would use for a market stall, but I do think that they always add like a random dash of color, and they always add some more detail, and they always just look pretty good. So here I'm using snow and clay instead of wool, but it always kind of gives off the same effect when you use the banner. So that looks pretty good. I need to get some more slabs in over on the road right there to even it out and to make it all look complete. But that's basically it for this side. So now we're going to go ahead and transition to the other side and see if we can get all the other houses. Now, obviously, I know this video is really confusing because I am speaking to you from the future. I've already done all of these things, so it's a little bit off-putting, but I just wanted to kind of keep some kind of continuity going. If it is confusing, my apologies. It wasn't exactly my fault, but all of the files got corrupted, like I said earlier on in the video. So if you're ever confused, just, I guess, continue watching. It's Minecraft. It's a visual game. You're basically just seeing progress updates. Alright, but I just wanted to go ahead and replace all of the bricks here with sandstone bricks. I feel like they're too bright, they add too much contrast, and they don't exactly fit in on this kind of massive scale. If this was some kind of micro design, or I guess real life, you could probably get away with throwing some bricks in there, but it just doesn't exactly work here. I don't know, maybe you guys disagree, but I think I'm just going to replace them for now, and if anything, we can add them back, but I do think that this looks a little bit better and more, I guess, coherent. Alright, so when this happened, I basically found this trading villager here in hopes that I could get some of the new, what are the new grass blocks called? I'm not exactly sure what they are. It's basically like a green texture all the way around. You can make like grass carpets. That's what I was hoping to find with this trading villager. Unfortunately, I can only find these kind of like, what are they called? Drip leaves or whatever. I don't really need those. I mean, maybe we could use them at some point in the future to detail some of the greenery areas, but what I really wanted was those lush blocks. I don't know, is it moss? No, I don't think it's moss. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but that's what I was trying to find, and I couldn't find any of it, or I guess the villager wasn't trading any of it, so that was a bit disappointing, but what can you do? I'll get those at some point in the future. I'm pretty sure the only way you can get them is from caves, but I was hoping that you could possibly get them from trading with traveling villagers. Okay, so I didn't actually know that these are placed in water. I thought that they grew some kind of tree. I believe I was mistaken with another kind of block that they added to 1.18 or 17 or whatever, and these are actually pretty great. I'm going to mix these in with some lily pads to add some detail in watery areas. Usually those kinds of areas like little ponds and areas or bodies of water are pretty difficult to detail from the top of them, but these are going to spice things up. We can mix in some lily pads and some of these drip leaves, and it should look pretty good. Okay, but here we are with another progress update. 2 more houses have been finished. The one on the right is actually a shop, and I have to say, this house on the right here, the shop on the right, is phenomenal. I'm just so impressed with how it turned out. I don't know exactly how I put this thing together. I worked a bit in a creative test world, but I kind of changed the whole thing up in this survival world. It's an armor shop, so we have all these different colors from the armor coming down here. We have the pink and purple tarps, and it just looks phenomenal. I'm a really big fan of how the purple kind of interlocks with the stone. Obviously, some of the roof blocks still have to turn into their teal form, or, you know, the copper has to patina, whatever way you say it. But this house just looks really great. The one on the left doesn't look as good. It's kind of a weird looking building, but we'll get to that. But I'm just really impressed. I think this is for sure my favorite corner house out of the 4. I think it just looks great. You know, the sidewalk continues out a little bit more, so you have some space to walk into the door and look at all the things, but it just looks really great. And then we have this building, which I tried to go for a more kind of old style. Also, yeah, I have to remind you that the backs of these buildings have been completed just because I had a bit of spare time. But yeah, the other one that I built, or sorry, the left house that I built, is a bit of an older, run-down building. It's using some weird acacia wood for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. The bottom of the house is cobblestone and boarded up. It looks a little bit more cheap. It looks a little bit more old, and I'm kind of happy with it. We'll see. Maybe I'll update in the future. I think it's all right, but the shop definitely does look really good, and it definitely is maybe even one of my favorite houses that I've built so far, and for once I didn't steal the design from someone else, so I'm really proud of that house. I know it sounds like I'm being a little bit cocky. I guess I am, but I'm really proud of it. Alright, so here we are with another progress update, the final progress update for this street in terms of the houses, because all of the front sides of the houses have been completed now. We have 3 new buildings here to look at and talk about. We have a pub, some kind of an office building, and then some kind of like luxurious real estate building. I don't know, that's kind of the vibes that I get, but this pub is pretty clearly a pub in my opinion. You have the brick, you have the green there, you have the weird basement wooden looking thing, and it kind of looks like a barn in a weird way. I mean, it's a barn squeezed in between these 2 office buildings. This is some kind of medieval office building. I don't know, that's the vibe that it gives me. I feel like these are decent enough houses to have here. I mean, they're not the greatest things I've ever built, but they're not the worst by any means, so I'm happy with these 2. Then you have that white building that I was talking about, some kind of a real estate house or apartment or whatever it is, and we have the roof going on here. The copper still hasn't patinaed, which is fine. That'll look more turquoise or teal or whatever color that is. We have all the cyan details with the carpet line. It just looks very different. I'm a really big fan of how this house turned out. It's very white and pristine. There's a lot of calcite that I've kind of mixed in there with the diorite, and it's just very different from anything else. It really sticks out compared to all of the other houses, but that's basically it for this strip. I still have to get the roofs done. I have to get the backs and the sides done and kind of add some street lamps and some more bushes and light up the area and just make it look a little bit more complete. Maybe we'll add some banners, but yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to get all of those little details done, and then I'll be back with you to show you the final project, or sorry, the final progress update of this completed strip. Alright, and here we are. This is the last clip in the past. This is where I left it off. This is what the village, or sorry, strip is looking like for right now. I've completed some of the backs of the houses. I've added some street lamps here. We have some leaves going. We have some more greenery at the bottom, some lighting, some banners up there. I think this area looks just phenomenal. I mean, there's so many different vibrant colors going on. It looks extremely lived in. It looks very just fun to walk down. I mean, I don't know why, it's just so colorful, and I guess then it's nighttime, so the atmosphere is great, but I'm really just in love with the way that this village is turning out, this strip in particular. Obviously, we're going to have many more houses to build. We have some avenues that we have to work on. They're going to wind through the area. We're going to maybe theme some streets, so maybe we'll have like a shopping district. Maybe we'll have, you know, just different districts, different ideas. If you have any suggestions for things you want to see go up in this city, then let me know. We're probably going to take a bit of a break from this project because we've basically just pulled through and kind of worked on so many of these different houses, so I want to break away and do some different things in the world, maybe work on some kind of redstone project or work on the docks that I want to kind of work on that I haven't really talked about. But yeah, we're going to leave this area for right now. This is actually the end of the clips that I had in the past, so everything I do from this point on is me in the present time, so it's not me talking from the future. So if that's still confusing to you, then it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this is the end of this strip for right now. This is the end of this project for right now. We will come back to it shortly, but yeah, I'm just really happy with the way that all of this turned out, and I hope you are too. Alright, here we are back at the main base. Sorry if you can hear any wind in the background. It's extremely windy outside and it's extremely loud for some reason. But anyways, we're back here at the base, and I've been thinking I need a lot more stone. In the previous episode, we've dug out this big hole over here, and we got a lot of stone, and it helped me build a big portion of the mountain in the end where we're working on the Asgard base, and I need a lot more. I've basically used all of that. We got like 5 or 6 or so shulker boxes full, and I've been thinking we have this entire space right here under the base. We have this big base, right? And then under it, we have, like very far under it, we have the strip mine down there. And so between the strip mine and the base itself, we have a ton of stone. And I was thinking, why don't I just excavate all of that stone? That is going to be a sizable chunk of work. There's going to be a lot of digging, and we have to be careful because there's machines and things that poke out under from the base itself, a lot of redstone contraptions. So I do have to be a bit careful. But I basically want to take out all of this stone, all the way down from bedrock, or I guess from level 10 where the strip mine is, all the way up to my base. We'll have a humongous amount of space for new projects. We'll have a bunch of stone that we acquire, some materials like some of the different stones like granite and andesite, and we'll just get a bunch of resources. And if I do need all of this stone, if I do need to dig out all of this, then I might as well do it under my base because I can just repurpose this open area for different projects in the future. So that's basically what I'm going to do here. I'm going to see how much I can do today. Probably not that much, but I do want to fill up a few shulker boxes so that we could use them just in case we need any more stone. Or I guess we do need some more stone for the project in the end because I want to work on that a bit more in today's episode. Now, once we do eventually excavate this entire area below us, I think it'll be especially cool for areas like this, where we have glass floors or different farms that kind of seep through the base, because right now, the base is basically on one level, and while that's fine, it's more functional, I think this will give us a lot of room for creativity in different projects. We can have balconies and staircases and farms below us and above us, and use glass to different effects, and it can overall just provide for some very different things, some things that'll change up the base, some more areas of detail, and it won't just all be on one level. It won't seem so small. It'll have this more grand effect to it. But this is exactly what I'm talking about. As you can see, I've started to expose different bits of redstone, and there's ice above me because of water trails. We even have a mob grinder right here. I'd like to use that new glass that kind of doesn't let light through, and then we can encase that entire mob spawner and kind of showcase it. We can have different tunnels and pathways that lead to all of these places. It'll also make it very simple for maintenance, or if I need to change anything, because all of the redstone will be exposed in a way, but I'd also like to make it look pretty nice so we can actually visit this area down below, and it'll all eventually lead to some kind of grand base scheme where it'll all be decorated. This room right here, I actually didn't know existed. Like, I completely forgot that it existed. I know you guys probably don't care, but it was just, like, I genuinely don't remember digging out this area, so that was pretty fascinating to me. We have a slime farm here that I'm going to have to redecorate because I want to encase the entire thing in glass so that you can kind of look through it and see all of the different slimes jumping around, because I think that's just something that would be interesting to have in the base. That's a lot of work. We'll do that at some time later on in the series, not in this episode for sure, but yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and continue mining and collecting some stone and revealing different projects that I basically completely forgot about. Alright, but that's basically it for all the digging that I'm going to do today. I don't really care to do any more. I feel like we've gathered plenty enough stone to complete at least the first mountain, if not the second one, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to need some stone and diorite too. We have a bit of diorite in here that I'll use later on for the mountain. We might not even get to that in today's episode, but yeah, we have enough stone. I'm going to pack up all my things and move on into the end. Alright, so I'm not exactly sure if I've shown any progress updates of this mountain recently or on YouTube in general. I feel like the last time you saw it, it was maybe 10 or so blocks lower, and I've also put in a decent amount of work on the backside now. I'm not exactly detailing or putting in as much effort on the back as the front, obviously because you're not going to be seeing it. To be honest with you, at one point I didn't even consider doing the backside, but I feel like doing the backside is going to make it a lot easier for me to complete the tops, because I'll know kind of like where to meet the mountain, and it's kind of unnecessary, but I do want to finish it off. It is a bunch more work, but like I said, I'm not putting as much effort into it, so I'm kind of just able to fly by. But using all of the stone that we just acquired from mining under the base, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can basically finish the entirety of this mountain in today's episode. I also completely forgot that we still have one of these obsidian pillars to knock out. It's completely hollow. I just have to take the edges off. This should take me about 30 minutes or so. I'll knock this out and then we can move on back to the base. It was just kind of random because I never really see this. It blends in with the void, the dark void, so I haven't really seen this. I kind of completely forgot about it. I just want to take it down quickly. We can pick up the beacon behind it and then transfer the beacon into, I guess, the overworld or wherever else we'll need it. Alright, and here we are with the final progress update for now. I will come back and add various different blocks like andesite and maybe some deep slate. I'll add some snow and some diorite to the peaks. That's for another episode. Maybe we'll finish all of the bases for the mountains with stone, and then we'll come back and detail them after. I do think that the mountain itself looks really great. I was actually going to time-lapse the process, but it didn't really work out. I just kind of went ahead and did it myself while I watched some YouTube. So here we are. This is what it's looking like. It's not perfect, but I do think it's a pretty huge improvement from the other mountains we have on the right side. I think those are all just like one big mountain, and then on this side we're going for individual mountains with like individual peaks, and I think they'll look even better when we have some snow on the top of them and we add those various different textures and blocks like andesite, like I discussed earlier, and then we'll have these other two mountains that will go even taller, and we'll complete this side, and everything will kind of look like it just encloses Asgard, because it is supposed to be this kind of magical floating rock that's only enterable, if that's a word, from the front side. So yeah, it's done completely. The back side, as I said, it doesn't look as good as the front side. It's a lot of the same textures and you can see a lot of straight lines, but that's okay. It's the back side. You're never really going to see this. I definitely won't detail the back side, but yeah, just wanted to show you the complete thing. And yeah, I think that's basically it. We're not really going to work on the end much more in this episode. Maybe I'll do a few little things, but yeah, I'm really glad that we got to finish this main island, or sorry, this main first mountain here, and it'll just kind of demonstrate what the other ones are going to look like. If you have any tips, or if you don't think it looks that good, then go ahead and let me know. Alright, so I had a bit of extra stone. I decided to kind of get some framework in for the next two mountains. Just some very rough stuff here. You can see it's not very detailed and it looks very boxy, and there's lines and everything's very uniformed and it doesn't look naturalistic, and that's obviously all going to change. I just wanted to get down the basic draft for the base of the mountain, and then we'll change it up and make it more natural and realistic in the future. This mountain right here is actually going to be taller than the first one, as I've said, I think, in the previous clips, and then the one next to it will be even taller than this middle one. So yeah, we'll work on that in the next episode. I just wanted to waste the rest of the stone that we have. We have a few more shulker boxes, but I think I'll leave it at that. Alright, so I was just walking down the main bridge and I was thinking it would kind of be cool if we had some chains here. I don't know if this is exactly something that you guys think looks good. I think it looks pretty cool. I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm not 100% confident that it works here, but I do think it just adds something, some kind of fence. I know there's not really supposed to be a fence if you look at the actual pictures from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but I think it just adds a bit of detail. It looks pretty good. I'm going to leave them here for now and think about this and sleep on it, I guess. If you guys think that I should keep it, let me know. If you think I should get rid of it, let me know, and we'll see. We'll move on from here. But that is going to be it for today's episode. We have some of the previous clips from the episode that I was working on a month ago. We have some new clips, some things that I've updated you guys on. We got some decent work in on Asgard for, feels like the first time ever. We finally completed, or I guess kind of completed, the main mountain. We will have to come back and detail it at some point, but it looks really good. I'm pretty happy with the progress that we made in today's episode. There's definitely some things that I have inspiration to work on in the coming episodes. I think next episode we're finally going to get back into the spruce forest. We're going to finish up a bunch of trees there, maybe build some kind of log cabin, but that's basically all the time and energy I have for today. So I'm going to leave the episode there. I feel like we've gotten a good amount of work done. Let me know on those few things what you think. Should we keep the chains? Is the mountain looking good? Is there anything I should change up? Do you guys enjoy me working on that city that we were working on previously in the episode, or should I kind of take a break? I think I will take a break and we'll come back and resume that project in the coming episodes. Another thing that I want to touch on is the 1.18 update. Now, I don't know if any of you care. I'm probably going to keep this world right here. I don't really feel like starting up a new Minecraft world, especially when we're working on Asgard now. I want to complete that project and I don't want to just reset the world. Maybe we will kind of travel a few thousand blocks out and look at the new terrain and the new blocks and things like that. But when I do decide to update my world to 1.18, I believe that we just remove all of the bedrock and then, or sorry, we don't do that, but that's just what the generation does. It removes all the bedrock and then you have another like 64 or so blocks below that and it generates it with caves. So maybe in the next episode we can explore that. I'm not exactly 100% sure if the 1.18 update is even stable. I don't know if there's any glitches, but I'll look into that. You guys can let me know if you want, and then maybe we'll get into that in the next episode or the episodes to come. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Sorry that it was a little bit weird with the different times and how I was talking and the different tenses, but that's just how it has to be for this episode. So yeah, hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.